Etude number 4 presents a lot of challenges, including the rhythm. The rhythm on this etude is confusing because it's a little bit unexpected, particularly on the third line. When you're first learning this etude, play it super slow. The indicated tempo is dotted quarter equals 66, but we're going to make 66 the 8th note. That is a great way to get started in practicing this etude. Because it's so slow, you'll be able to pay attention to every little detail, including the dynamics, the articulations, the accents. Put everything in at this very slow tempo, and then continue to pay attention to those dynamics as you speed up the etude a little bit at a time. And before you'll know it, you'll be all the way up to dotted quarter equals 66 as marked, and your representation will include all of those details that you've practiced from the very slowest of the tempos. Decide where you're going to breathe, mark those breath marks in, and stick to them. That way you won't mess yourself up later, and when you're in the audition room, you won't have any question about what you're going to do. When you're deciding where to breathe, look for long notes. You want to breathe after a long note because the time it takes to breathe will be deducted from the note that precedes the breath. So it wouldn't make a lot of sense to breathe after a short note. That would be very awkward. Later in this piece, in the second and third lines, there are moments where there are slurs indicated and you're not allowed to break those slurs. Some of those spots would be the natural breathing spots, but those are taken away because of the slurs. So plan ahead. In this spot, I'm breathing where I wouldn't normally need to, but I'm going to show you this anyway so that you'll know you need to plan ahead when you're breathing. The articulation in this etude is very important. You have a lot of slur to, tongue to moments, like the very beginning. Make sure that you play the second two 16th notes very short so that they're different than the first two, which are slurred together. This happens all over this etude. So at the very end, you have 3 in a row. They all have to sound the same. It's tempting to put the last note, the low F, on the valve in this etude, but because it's soft and it's the last note, you don't want it to sound flat. And on my trombone, this note is pretty flat. Sometimes I can kind of massage it and make it work, but in this context, I would not risk that. So you should check your low F and see if it's usable on the valve. If it's too low, do the extra work. Move your arm out and play it in 6th. Check it with the tuner. If it's not consistently in tune, then you should definitely play it in 6th.